not change, and the rivers of wine that is delicious to those who drink it, and the rivers of honey that are pure, and the rivers of water that is fresh. And if you ask about the food, then it is from the fruits from whatever they will choose, and the meat from whatever bird they desire. And if you ask about their drink, then it is from the tasneem ginger and the kaffir. And if you ask about their cups, then they are crystal clear and made of gold and silver. And if you ask about its shade, then a fast rider would ride in the shade from one of its trees for hundreds of years to escape the shade. And if you ask about the vastness of how big and how large it is, then the lowest of its people would have within his kingdom and walls and palaces and gardens, the distance will be traveling for thousands and thousands of years. And if you ask about the tents and the people who are inside the tents, then the one tent is like a concealed pearl that is 60 miles long. Inshallah, let the brother through, inshallah. And if you ask about how far it reaches into the sky, then look at the shining star that is visible to your eyes, as well as those that are far in the heavens that the eyesight cannot possibly reach. And if you ask about its clothing, the clothing of the inhabitants of this place, the paradise, the Jannah, then they are silk and gold. And if you ask about its beds, then its blankets are from the finest silk laid in the highest of its levels. And if you ask about the faces of the inhabitants in their beauty, then they are like the image of the moon. And if you ask about their age, then they are the young ones of 33 years, in the image of Adam alayhi salam. And if you ask about what they will be hearing, then it is the singing of their wives from amongst the Hurra'in, and better than the voices of the angels and the prophets, and better than the speech of the Lord of the worlds. And if you ask about their servants, then they are young boys of everlasting youth, who resemble scattered pearls. And if you ask about their brides and their wives, then they are young and full-breasted and have liquid of youth flowing through their limbs. The sun runs along their beautiful face, as if the sun runs along their beautiful face. If she shows it, light shines from between her teeth if she smiles. If you meet her love, then whatever you want regarding the joining of the two lights he sees, his face's roundness of her cheek. And if he is looking into her polished mirror face, and the brightness from her eyes from behind her muscle bones. If she were to unleash upon the world only her khimar, if one of the Hurra'in, the women of Jannah, were to unleash upon the world just a piece of her khimar, then it would fill between that which is in the heavens and that which is in the earth. And the Shaykh continues on and on with the descriptions of the Jannah. And we know in the hadith that we brought and will remind you again, when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made Jannah, and Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he made hellfire, he sent Jibril alayhi salam. He said, Jibril, go look at the hellfire and tell me what you think. Jibril went to the hellfire. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala surrounded the hellfire with all types of easiness. Things that are easy that will get you put into it. Like doing the haram, sin, zina, khamr, riba, all the things that are easy. And then Jibril came back, he said, Ya Rabb. He said, Ya Rabb, Jannah. And he sent Jibril. He said, yeah, Jibril, go look at the paradise and go tell me what you think. And Jibril went to the Jannah and he looked. And he said, Ya Rabb, when he came back to Allah wa ta'ala. He said, Ya Rabb, it looks as if hardly any of your creation will enter this place because of the hardness and the hardship that it takes to go to this place, the patience that it takes to get there, the obedience that it takes to you, Ya Rabb, to enter the place of the Jannah, the obedience that it takes for them to stay away from doing the haram things that you have ordained for them to stay away from, the obedience of them doing that which you brought and you revealed in your Quran, and that which you brought from the tongue of your messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wa salam. So we'll go over, inshallah wa ta'ala, the 5 categories of sabr. And we'll go over them, and inshallah wa ta'ala, I speak to myself first before I speak to anyone. We should listen and try to take heed and try to take remembrance to it. Try to take remembrance to it as if a man came to you and he gave you a digit to a locker that had $15 billion in it. You will remember that number. All the way until you drove across the states until you got to that locker, you would have that number remembered in your brain. Because you want that which is concealed inside of you. You want that which is concealed inside of you. So when you read the book of Allah, Ya Ikhwan, and you go over